Lifetime brings back parenting reality series Supernanny 420 episode order to debut in. Hello friends, and welcome to my channel. For the latest news update, please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Original host Joe Frost, who was the original Supernanny in the UK version, which aired on Channel 4, and also hosted a US adaptation for ABC. Frost will infuse her 30 years of expertise to the issues facing modern-day families. With new social and behavioral challenges parents face today, Frost will bring hope and uplift families with her advice, techniques, and tips to iron out the chaos in their homes. With Frost's former partner Deborah Tillman as host. Frost has previously hosted series including Family SOS on TLC and also produced Nanny on tour through her own Nanny Joe Productions for Up TV in. The new series will be produced by Warner Brothers' own Shed Media, which produced the original, and will be exec produced by Pam Healy, Dan Pearson, and Stephanie Schwam and Kat Rodriguez and Gina McCarthy for Lifetime. Frost exec produces through her Nanny Joe Productions. Supernanny Joe Frost shares her top quarantine tips for families. We do too much for our kids. We have this precious time to recognize what we need to change, says Supernanny Joe Frost of families self-isolating at home. Joe Frost has a message for parents raising kids in a pandemic: take some pressure off. Right now, every family's duty and obligation is to keep themselves alive, says the parenting expert known as Supernanny. Everything else is second. Premieres September 1, has had plenty of experience navigating familial challenges, switching course during COVID-19 from her traditional home visits to providing Zoom consultations to adults and kids. At the start of the pandemic, my website went mad, says Frost. People were scared and desperate. First and foremost, Frost advises that families keep a schedule, as challenging as it may be. One task at a time, she says. Put the lists on the wall so the family can see. It creates structure so we can feel more productive and organized and not so cluttered. And she says not to underestimate the capabilities of children. We do too much for our kids, she says. We disable them. We should be teaching them life skills to make them more able to do things for themselves. About what exactly can be accomplished during trying times. How can you follow school schedules and do your work, she asks. It's no secret. You're not. But that's okay. Because you didn't meet every agenda on your child's schedule. There is nothing your child is going to learn right now at the age of 10 that is going to make or break their career at. Continues Frost. We have to get out of this cultural mindset of putting badges on ourselves and playing the martyr spinning plates. We need to be spinning 6 plates, and doing it well. Otherwise plates tumble and break. Warts and all. Pre-COVID, the art of sitting around the dining table was lost, she says. But now, we can have dinner together. We can connect. And we can discover something new. Ultimately, Frost says, we're not going back to how things were. We need new normals. But, she continues, the beauty of all of this is if we can work on what we ignored before the pandemic, we can come out with new rituals, new practices, and a prioritization of what is important. For more from Joe Frost, pick up the latest issue of People, which premieres May 28 at 9 p.m. But this time, she's not just helping parents with their kids, she's helping entire families that are in crisis. We chatted with Frost about the format of the show, her strategy for difficult situations, and how real family SOS gets. I don't develop, and I think that's what's important. When I receive the footage for a family that needs my help, I will observe and see a 2-minute tape of what they believe their issues are. But when I meet them for the first time, it's very instinctual for me. Something you can put on paper, it's not something you can pre-plan, it's about instinctually connecting with the families that you just met. That's what's so wonderful about doing Family SOS. It's a format that I wanted to develop and create to show my expansion of experience. There's no mistake that Family SOS We'll not only have issues between the parents and the dynamics between married couples or generational issues, but teenagers as well, and tweens and toddlers. All I've done is allow through this format for the American viewer to see what was going on behind the camera. With my previous show, you saw me helping the parents with the children. A lot of the work I would have to do with the parents or with the grandparents or with the extra family members, that stuff would always have to be done. It just wasn't shown. The format was centered on children needing help. This format allows me to show the homework that the adults have to do in order to not just fix themselves, but to create the harmony they want with their children. I think that's the beauty of this format. That's what I'm so excited about. Our team is looking at 21st century issues. We're looking at problems that are relatable to American families. As you see with this blended family, it's about the dynamics between all the kids together, and the issues with this married couple holding on to so much hostility, and the reality of a real-life tragic situation happening. It's candid and raw. The style of the show is very factuality, that's what I'm calling it. Factuality. It's not shiny, or buff, and polished on the edges. With Supernanny, it wasn't put in there. And I wanted it put in there, that's part of the format. If you don't think this is real, we've got no problem with that. We'll film it as raw as it is. I want people to feel like what they are watching is the real deal, because it is. Don't blame Americans thinking that way, because when you think of some of the reality television that is on screens today, who can blame them? Who can blame thinking that it's scripted, or think that I don't care? But this is real, and you'll eventually see that. It's loose. So I may spend 3 days with a family. In my head, I'll be like, right, I'll spend 3 days with this family, we'll do an 18-hour day, easily. I'll give them a week or 2 weeks, and then go back and see how they're doing. I'll pick up the phone and have some phone calls with them, and then go back. But it's loose. If I spend 3 days with a family, and I need another day with them, that's what I'll do. The process also starts a lot earlier from the time that they are accepted. We have a very diligent production team. We understand as a team that this is a big deal for parents. They are in crisis. They're not ringing me up because they want to meet me, have a cup of tea, and a slice of cake. So we make sure we cradle these families right up until I arrive. You're certainly going to see families that have had to come together with respects to adoption. You're going to see couples are just in a disarray in their own marriages, and the impact that it has on the rest of the family. We're going to be looking at families that have moved from one state to the next. There's a whole array. That's what's so beautiful. It's not just kid-centric. It's the whole family. Yeah, absolutely. I think over 8 years of being in this country and helping families and feeling so passionate about what I do, I've become comfortable in people's living rooms. They know and respect and trust that they can talk to me, and that the advice they're going to be given is going to be good for them. Yeah, I do. I keep in touch with them when they reach out to me. I don't encroach on anybody unless they contact me. One of the families I helped in Florida just yesterday tweeted me. It was really lovely to hear from her. These families are not calling me because they have a few little problems. They're in crisis. They're really falling apart. And you have to go and walk the mile that is necessary and do what you have to do. With that particular family from the premiere, the mom felt like, oh, I don't know if I want to take a privilege. It's like, what are you thinking? You have to do what you have to do. You have to be able to have a nice balance of being firm and fair, and reaching out to kids emotionally and have them feel like they can lean on you. Lifetime Supernanny returns Tuesdays. New series debut features Elmwood Park family of. Supernanny is back. She's just debuted a new series on Lifetime, and Tuesday's episode brings her to a Chicago suburb. Janet Davies talks to Nanny Joe and an Elmwood Park family with 4 children under the age of 6. It's raising a family and finding the balance between giving the attention and energy that rambunctious children need, but also providing for your family and making ends meet in today that requires two people working with the circumstances and the climate out there. You don't realize what things you're doing wrong until another person comes in and points them out. You sit back and say, wow, I should have been doing this, but I didn't know how to do it. When you watch a super nanny show, you're empathetic to the circumstance because you can relate and you root for the family and you know that if they can do it, you can. Jo Frost of Super Nanny fame is out with her 7th book, and she's taking aim at toddlers. More specifically, she focuses on the things so many parents dread: toddlers and tantrums. Frost,